Romania.
Ia, dă magia, bă.
One of God's greatest gifts to the earth, and my sweet adoptive country. Now, I've been living in Romania for about a year now, and while I absolutely do adore the country, it definitely has some things that need improvement. And this is what this video is about. All the things that I hate about Romania. So without further ado, let's begin.
Oh, lasă-mă că nu știi, nici nu ce-a făcut măta când a stai aici.
Now, when it comes to the Romanian language, it's definitely not one of the hardest ones out there, especially if you already know English. You're gonna notice a lot of vocab that you already know, and once you start learning it, you're gonna think, hey, this is easy, this is fun. And then you're gonna get smacked in the face by the super sphincter stretcher known as Romanian grammar. Now, on paper, Romanian grammar is quite easy, except it's not. However, once you start utilizing it, you realize it's anything but, because all the previous simple rules you learned are just thrown out the window. Basically, you're stuck memorizing each conjugation separately because consistency and you, my friend. Just look at how you're supposed to conjugate the verb to eat and then the verb to take. And don't even get me started on demonstratives. What the hell even is this? Now, one of the first things that absolutely started to annoy me upon moving to Romania is the public transportation. Now, while the public transportation within the city isn't that bad, but if you're a mere mortal without a car and decide to go on a quest to the next Romanian city, God certainly won't have mercy on you, and neither will the bus system. Now, first and foremost, if you're looking to go between two cities in Romania, one of which is not Bucharest, there are practically very few buses and trains available between the two. And the ones that are available go at extremely inconvenient times. You'd think they were made by a monkey who basically put them up all on a wall and threw his feces at a time chart and then picked whatever stuck. For example, I live in Cluj, Romania's third largest city, and I often have to travel to Timișoara, Romania's fourth largest city. The two cities are both over 300,000 people, and by car they're around 4 hours apart. So how many buses do you think go daily between the two cities? Any guesses? Well, two. There's only two buses, both of which go in the morning, one at 10 a.m. and one after it an hour and a half later. And the thing is, they're not even a proper bus, but the USSR's poor misinterpretation of a bus known as a marshutka, which only has 12 seats available and a very questionable smell. Now, this is even more complicated because to ride on a bus, you need a reservation. And to get a reservation, you have to call a bus company, which would be all fine and dandy if the bus company's phone actually worked, which more often than not doesn't. And you know, that would also be fine. But then you go to the bus station and ask to buy a ticket there for the bus, and then you get told by the lady working at the window that no, she can't sell you a bus ticket because you have to book those over the phone, which would be just fine, again, if the phone worked. Now, by some off chance that you actually had a luck to strike the lottery and were actually able to get through to the bus company and book your ticket, upon getting to your bus, you'll probably notice one grandpa who didn't have that opportunity to book the ticket because, again, the phone didn't work. So now he's stuck arguing with the bus driver about not being able to ride the bus because he's telling him, you gotta book the ticket over the phone. And your bus is delayed because, hey, there's a fight. And that's only if you want to go to a big city. If you want to go to a city nearby, the bus doesn't even stop at the bus station. Oh, no, no. It can stop anywhere in the city. It can stop by the church, next to the McDonald's, hell, if they're cheeky enough, behind an elementary school as well. It doesn't really matter to them, as long as it's not at a proper functioning bus station. And the only way to know where your bus stop is basically to ask the locals. And if you don't speak that much Romanian, well, tough shit. And then you have Bucharest. Now, as Romania is quite a centralized country, its capital, Bucharest, plays quite an important role. And Romania being quite a large circular country, you'd think its capital would be somewhere in the middle. But no, it's all the way south, near almost the border with Bulgaria. So if you live anywhere outside of Wallachia, good luck on that 10-hour train ride, and I hope the AC works. Pro tip, it doesn't. And as you must be careful in Romania of people trying to steal your wallet, online you must be careful of companies trying to steal your data. And that's why you should use Atlas VPN, baby! In modern days, every bozo and his mother is out to take your data, so they can then sell it to companies who will then sell you ads and try and manipulate you to buy their product. And that's not cool. And that's why Atlas is running their big deal, where you can get Atlas Premium for just $183 a month plus 3 months extra. Alongside keeping your browsing data safe, Atlas also prevents ads and malware from touching your computer. Online shops also love charging you extra depending on your purchasing location, but with Atlas VPN, I don't even have to say it. You yourself already know they don't stand a chance against Atlas. And on top of that, you can also access different TV shows and movies geo-locked away from your home country. And the best part about it is, it's an unlimited devices, so with one subscription you can get your entire household covered. Nay, your entire village. You get Atlas VPN, and you get Atlas VPN. So again, go and click the link in the description and get Atlas Premium for just $183 a month plus 3 months for free. And if you dislike the service, no problem, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go and check it out. By supporting Atlas, you support me. Again, go to atlasv.pn/Europe and protect yourself. Another thing that really cheeses my cracker about living in Romania is definitely the bureaucracy.
They're not robots, Rick! It's a figure of speech, Morty. They're bureaucrats. I don't respect them.
Now, I'm no stranger to post-socialist bureaucratic systems. I did live in Serbia for 9 years after all. However, Romania takes it a whole nother step further. Now, of course, you have your classic of having to bring an entire tree's worth of paper to a menopausal, severely underpaid creature known as the woman working at the office window, only to be told that you actually need a copy of a document that you already have there, and no, you can't make a copy even though you're standing right next to a copy machine, because f you, that's why. And you'll indeed have to rebook your appointment several months later, and then again wait several hours in line just to be told again that you're missing a goddamn paper. Another thing that's quite insane about the Romanian bureaucracy is that Romania has some of the highest internet speeds in the world. I'm talking the highest in Europe, and maybe the second highest in the world after South Korea, and maybe Iceland. But none of the bureaucracy is digitalized. You still have to make several physical printed copies of documents and bring them in by yourself instead of sending them digitally. And you still have to bring in a bunch of physical copies in person and then wait in line longer than a guy in the friend zone waits for his crush to be free. A great example of this is Cluj's migration office. Now, other than the fact that it is basically located at the ground floor of a mall being surrounded by literal luxury stores, the office only works 5 days a week from 9 to 5. But that's only for EU citizens. Now, if you're unlucky enough to be born outside of the EU, the office only takes non-EU citizens on Wednesdays and only 20 at a time. And as you can imagine, there's definitely more than 20 people waiting at the day. So many literally have to sleep over at the mall just to have the chance to be seen the next day. Just 10 out of 10.
He is my neighbor. Nu șutam to react by. He is paining my assholes.
Another relic of the past communist era are definitely the neighbors. And if you've ever lived in a commie block here, you know what I'm talking about. Now, to be fair, most of the neighbors you'll meet here are completely fine, normal people. However, there are still these Cretaceous-era creatures that still think that we're living under the Ceausescus, that think they're the Securitate's strongest soldier. So here and there, you'll get this grandma who's gonna stop you in the middle of a commie block hallway and start interrogating you on where are you from, why are you coming back home so late, which apartment block you live in, as if it's any of her business. So for example, one of the things that happened while living here is that the police got called up to my fiance's aunt because one of her lovely neighbors reported her and said that there is a suspicious foreigner that constantly keeps visiting her. So of course the police had to come and investigate, where they just realized it was just her niece. So yeah, although it doesn't happen that often, it is quite annoying at times.
Și apoi mă dau cu spray, sunt un mare cocalar. futa ketchup și muștar.
Every country has a subculture they despise. The Brits have the chavs, the Americans have white trash, the Russians have the gopniks, and the Romanians, well, the Romanians have the cocalar. And to explain the cocalar, I think there is no better way than to read out the excerpt written on Romania's official Kitsch Museum's website. The cocalar is an individual with a great need for affirmation in the conditions of a modest culture. Like any cultural returnee, he has not even developed the quality to evaluate his cultural return, so he functions as a disabled person who is not aware of his disability. Like a blind man in driving school, in the absence of data, he makes simplistic judgments and positions himself wrongly on the social scale. He gives exaggerated importance to an ambiguous concept called the school of life, by which he guides his actions. From the level of his modest education, he perceives money as the only universal value. He miscalculates, and when he measures his ambitions, choosing as his models the few lucky cobblers who have become very rich despite their cultural poverty. His probability of success is much lower, but the cocalar does not have an intellectual capacity to understand his reality. In nature, you can find the cocalar driving a 20-year-old BMW he brought in from Germany, while blasting on the speakers of said BMW, "Ja, calule, dupa dupa dolule," as loud as he can, while dressing as if he mugged the cast of the Jersey Shore. In conclusion, I love Romania with all my heart and hope never to move away from here. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, click that like and subscribe button, and why not share it while you're at it. And if you'd like me to make a video about all the things that I love about Romania, let me know in the comments. Anyways, once more, I wish to thank these lovely people for supporting me and supporting my work. If you wish to become like them, become a member today, or go and check out theironicsshop.com, where you can find some amazing merch such as my board game. My name is Janos, and you've watched Living Ironically in Europe.
Hey, hey, why